Hey, and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. Been a while, but I'm back here and I've got some cool stuff to look at today. Just a bit of a preview here. We've got the ZOHD GT Rebel. What a cool name. Anyway, it's a face that only a mother could love, isn't it? The front of that plane, but it reminds me a lot of the Mini Talon, to be honest. It looks very similar. It's got a V-tail, it's got a wing, it's got a fuselage, and it seems to be set up for long-range FPV, which is kind of good. And it also looks like it's going to be a very, very quick, I won't say build, I'll say assemble, because it doesn't look like there's a lot of work involved in this. No glue required, it says on the instructions. Let me just, hang on, let me turn this around. I need a bigger build table already. I need a bigger build table. Let's have a look in here. Look at that, lovely big sheet of black foam. But the first thing I noticed when I looked in here was, like, it's all just about completely ready built. There's really nothing to do with this thing. So I'm expecting that this will go together in a matter of minutes, and what I may do is a real-time build video. So I will put this together in real time. You'll watch over my shoulder as I assemble this, because I think it's going to be so easy and so quick and so simple. And I guess we'll find out. Oh damn, just dropped stuff on the floor. As I say, bigger build table required. Anyway, so that is something that's coming up very shortly in the next couple of days, because the weather looks like it might give us a window to test flight. But other stuff that has arrived, which I've been really keen to look at, and let me just put this out of the way for a moment because I want to look in a little more closer detail, is, let's just pull in a bit on the old build mat here so that we've got a background. I've got a selection of cameras from Runcam, but there you go. And what makes these so special? Well, I'm going to use them on the sub 250 gram. I've been waiting to release the build video until I got the last little bits, and these cameras are what I was waiting for, because we're gonna do a shootout between the different sub or micro cameras that are on the market. We've got a Runcam Micro Eagle, Runcam Micro Swift, where are we? Micro Swift 2, is it? The Micro Swift 2, yeah, we've got a whole lot of cameras here. And then we've got the Runcam Racer Nano. So some really, really small, lightweight cameras here that I'm going to be testing, putting side by side so you can see what probably would suit you. And these little micro cameras that have made this whole sub 250 thing so practical. They're tiny, tiny, and you don't seem to sacrifice much in the way of light handling or performance. So we'll put them side by side. Which is going to be better? Which one would be the best option? And Runcam has so damn many of them that we really do have to do a side by side shootout, so that, as you can see, it's part of the build video, so that when we get these all together, you can make your choice. Anyway, so that's something that, again, will come out in a few days because the weather's looking like it might be cracker. And then I got this. This is from, hold on, I've got terrible memory. It's J Bauer Electronics Limited. He sent me two things. Sent me a Radian Night RC controller. Ta-da! And what this is, if you've seen the Night Radian, it's a version of the Radian with LEDs in it. And here is the Night Radian controller. Here's a little board that plugs into your receiver and then basically allows you to control the sequencing and so forth of the LEDs in the Night Radian, because otherwise you just have some switches inside the craft itself, which means you can set it up before you launch it, but you can't change it on the fly, so to speak. This gives you the ability to change things on the fly, and apparently it works with other LED controls as well. So I don't have a Night Radian. What am I going to do? I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure that the people from Park Zone will be watching this video and go, oh gosh, that guy at RC Model Reviews, we've never sent him anything in the entire history of the Earth. Let's send him a Night Radian and he can test this out. But then again, they probably won't. But the other thing that J Bauer, was it J Bauer? Yeah, J Bauer Electronics sent was this. And this is called, hold on, I have to look it up. God, I really should start taking something ginkgo biloba. It's called the Short Stop. Short Stop. Now this, I actually reviewed this. I filmed an entire review of this. I'll put a little piece of that review perhaps in the corner here. I did a full review of this, and it works really well. It seemed to work just fine and dandy. But then before I published the review, they contacted me and said, no. This firmware in this particular pre-production one isn't up to our high standards. It's not up to scratch. So don't review it yet. Don't publish a review. Wait till we send you a replacement with new firmware. So, okay, even with bad firmware, this worked pretty well. So I think with new firmware, it'll probably work even better. But when the new firmware arrives, I'll redo my review and see if we come to a different conclusion. Hopefully we don't, because I found that this one worked pretty damn smart. And what does it do? Well, simple. If you've just put together a modern RC plane, if it's just a line of sight, but especially if it's got FPV and flight controllers and all that sort of rubbish in it, it's very possible that you might have crossed a wire here or there or made a little mistake. And one of the problems is if you just plug a battery straight into that thing, magic smoke comes pouring out. and it's not a good look, and it can blow stuff up. You know, if you've made a mistake, perhaps you've got the positive and negative the wrong way around on your XT60, that's going to basically toast everything in your model, your ESC, your flight controller, your receiver, the whole lot will go up in smoke. So this thing is clever. It actually checks to see whether there are any short circuits in your wiring or whether it's going to draw excessive current. And if it looks like it's going to draw excessive current before it gets to a predetermined level, which is I think 1 amp or 3 amp, you can set it with a little jumper here. Before it gets to that level, this will kick in and turn off the power. Turn it off. And I know people sometimes use car lamps, you know, just an ordinary bulb, an incandescent bulb, a 12-volt bulb, put it in series with your battery. And that's fine. That has an effect. That'll reduce the amount of current, but it won't totally protect your electronics because there'll still be possibly a couple of amps, 3 amps flowing. And that current will flow continuously. And it doesn't take long for 3 amps to create quite a bit of heat inside the expensive bits of your model. And that's when the smoke comes out. This thing, by comparison, it turns off the power within a millisecond or so. So there's not enough energy has flown down the leads into your plane or your quadcopter to actually cause any damage. So whereas the bulb will basically limit the damage, this will effectively almost certainly prevent the damage. And that's a whole lot better than just limiting it and having a slower burning fire. So yeah, this is a really, really practical tool for people who are not perhaps so confident in their wiring. Even me, even myself, with many, many years of experience, I know I have made mistakes. Don't tell anybody this. I don't want anyone to know, but I'm just letting you guys know just quietly. I've made mistakes and I haven't made magic smoke come out of some of my stuff. So this is just an invaluable tool for people, especially those that aren't that confident with their wiring. But I can't show you the review because they've said don't show it until we've sent you the new version with the new software. So that's it. There you go. That's a non-review, isn't it? Fantastic. And as I say, if I can get a Night Radian, I'll review that. But this seems to be made to the same pretty good quality standards as the other unit that I have reviewed. So I guess, who knows? I guess we'll find out. And what a lot of people have been asking me, the build video for the Outlaw Sub 250 on my XJet channel. Yes, you can see, look, there's one wing and here's another wing, and there's a whole lot of other wings here because I'm actually in the process. I've built about 5 of these damn things to complete the build video because I've had to retake parts, which means you've got to build that part again. I've had to build several wings because in doing the build video for the wing, I have made a few mistakes. And so, well, I haven't got the outcome I wanted in terms of the build, so I've had to retake. And so I've ended up with a whole lot of these things laying around. I'll do another video in a little while for my Patreon supporters because some lucky person is going to be getting a free one of these all built up with all the gear in it, ready to go except for a battery, maybe a receiver, depending on the gear you use. But suffice to say, yes, that's coming up on the XJet channel, not on this channel. It's a project. I want to keep this channel for the reviews and the technology and the tutorial stuff. So we'll put that on XJet. And if you haven't seen it fly, then go to XJet. There's quite a few videos of it flying. And most of the people who have seen it fly and had a fly of it have been impressed, especially me. Right, that's it. That's RC model reviews for, well, that's the not so weekly news really, isn't it? For another year, so to speak. But yes, stay tuned. There, as I say, I've got a pile of stuff piling up here and it'll all be coming up this week. It's raining at the moment and I just hang my washing out at home, so damn it. But it's the next few days supposed to be fine with light winds, so we'll get some stuff in the air. You can see how it goes. In the meantime, thank you for watching the video. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for their ongoing support. And if you've got a comment, leave it in the section below that is set there by YouTube for the purpose of. And I better get on with getting on. Bye for now.